How's it going, guys? I'm Dustin with Cruise Racing. We have a new project for the channel. So we picked up this Thundercraft off of a good friend of ours, and we have a goal with it. We have a want to build this boat and what we're going to do with it. So let's talk about that just a little bit first. If you followed the channel, if you've seen some of our other content, you know that we have a great passion for emergency response and search and rescue, okay? When I was growing up, it was a very big deal. We kept radios running at all points in time in our house. I grew up, as a hunter, fisherman, trapper, so we had access to the rivers, the lakes, and everything along Ohio, in the north end of Ohio against Lake Erie, where it's the old Black Swamp. And if somebody were to get out there and get in trouble, we were usually the first ones that could get out to them. We owned a house near the water. We had marinas right next to us with our boats in them and ready to go, or we were on the water already. So we took, we took search and rescue and things like that very serious. In 1998, when our house, was hit by a tornado, we were out helping people. And that same year, when everything flooded and our entire, house got flooded out, and I remember sitting on the counter of my grandpa's house watching the fish swim through his kitchen. We were in the duck boats. We were out trying to help people and get them out of their houses. When I went into the military, that passion never really stopped. I was point man, but I was also very good at navigation and very good at reading maps. And when somebody would go missing, it was often my job to find a route on the map, find where they're at, and go get them. So when I came out of the military, I spent some time going to college. Eventually, I started doing charities again. And I started taking that kind of thing very serious until I joined the local emergency response team. And right now, as it sits, I am not only a part of that emergency response team, but I also I'm getting all of my year together to do more search and rescue based things. That emergency response team does a lot of really great stuff, guys. Really great stuff. The one thing area where they kind of fall short is search and rescue, and they are trying to put that in place. But I told them, since I already have spent so much on gear, that I would like to also have my own thing off to the side, and that's not been an issue. So they have me as a resource, and I can utilize all my equipment, but also as I put money into my stuff, it can also be utilized elsewhere, not just within the local community, but right now, in this very second, hurricanes had just hit the southern part of the United States. Luckily, we weren't dispatched down there, but if something like that does happen, even if the local emergency response team isn't dispatched by FEMA, I could make that choice to go down on my own. That's where I'm at on that. So, part of that is getting a bunch of gear together. I have experience, swimming in heavy waters and high flowing waters. I have kayaks, I have bikes, I have vehicles, and one of the things that I've been talking about getting has been a better boat. Now, I say better boat. We had a small boat. I decided to sell it to a friend, and we bought a bigger boat. I never actually went through on building that bigger boat because of some other issues with paperwork. And so when a buddy of ours called up, said he had a relatively small boat, small inboard boat, that he would sell me for a very low price, I really thought about it, okay? And we came up with a deal. He would give me the boat. I would put the money into restoring it. I'd put the money into the boat itself. He could use the boat whenever he wanted, okay? He's been unable to use the boat the last couple of years just because it needed work, but he also has a family, just had a kid, just bought a house. He doesn't have the time the time to put into a boat, really. So that's where we're at. I'll put the time into the boat. He can use it to take his family out to the lake, and we're going to build something cool for the channel. So what we have right here is a small inboard boat with a 2.5 inboard, 2.5 liter inline motor. It needs a lot of work, though. And that's okay, because a lot of the stuff that's in this boat, a lot of it that made it like a family, everyone have a seat boat, or things that we're going to take out to make it an emergency response boat. Part of that is that we need to have our search and rescue canine be able to get in the boat, be fine in the boat, not freak out. He needs a spot to go, he needs a spot to be comfortable, but also, if we do find somebody, if we do go out on a water rescue, I need to be able to bring them into the boat and have some sort of a platform, some sort of an area where I can help them. I can give CPR if that's necessary, or they can rest, or whatever it may be. I need to be able to carry things like water and medical bags and all of that without it being a risk of falling out of the boat or being tripped over or whatnot. So that's how we have to build this boat. Okay, it has to be very specific. And it has to be very reliable. Let's not forget that aspect. It has to be reliable. So, let's take a look at what we got. It's rough. Everything needs work. But I kind of want to just go through every part, talk about what we're going to do with it, okay? So first and foremost is the trailer. The trailer's not in terrible condition, but the trailer does need work, okay? This side of the trailer, you can see that there's wires hanging down for the lighting underneath. And it's just a little rusty, it's a little beat up. If we go to the other side of the trailer though, we're going to find something interesting. And that's that on this platform, they decided to add boards and carpet. And this board has fallen off, and now there's open screws everywhere. So the wiring in the boat needs redone. I probably should repaint it before it rusts out. And I need to either get rid of those bolts or add platforms. Probably get rid of the bolts, that's the easiest part. We get up to the front, the crank's old, missing a handle, and the strap itself is rotted away. So we need to replace that. That's not an issue. The wheel is not bad, the crank down wheel. The crank down wheel isn't bad, but you gotta remember where we're gonna use it. It might be on the shore somewhere, it might be in the dirt, it might be in the mud, it's probably gonna be wet out. So we probably wanna get either a dual wheel or something bigger up here so when we crank it down, it doesn't just sink into the ground. If not, this isn't terrible. Again, missing a handle though, kinda sucks. The wiring's up here, but we know it doesn't go to anything, so that needs redone. Here's a big issue that we found. Somebody at some point in time had backed into the front of this boat, or backed into this trailer. So this actually goes up and cranks to the right. That needs replaced. There's also no safety chains on here, and I didn't realize that until I went to pick it up. Yeah, show up to pick up a boat in the afternoon with no safety chains, no lights, and see how much you worry. I worried a lot on that trip back, I'm not going to lie. I did make a video about that trip, but I was nervous, guys. So, looking at the boat itself, I actually, when he bought this boat, I went out with him, picked it up, and did the first float with it, so I know it floats well. He also used to live in a condo against the water. His boat spent a lot of time sitting on the water, and it didn't sink, so that's positive. We gotta take the win everywhere we can get it, right? Didn't sink, so that's a good thing. You know, things like this prop don't look bad. There are some chips that I noticed. Where are they at? I noticed a chip. Oh, right here. There's a chip up here. I think I'm going to cage this prop out. That's just so when I go up through rivers and stuff, if there's weeds, it doesn't wrap around the prop. You know, just build a nice little cage out around it. But that's for, obviously, heavier use. Let's get up inside this thing. Alright, looking inside it, you can see that the interior is just simply rough. There's no nice way to say it, okay? Seats back here tore up on the top. It's brittle, it's old, it's been in the sun, it's damaged. There's no nice way to say it, okay? So first thing we need to do is just strip absolutely everything out of here and start building that first. Check the floors, make sure I don't have a ton of rot. Get new carpet in here, get new seats, get all new everything. It's not a big deal because again we do custom automotive and marine upholstery, but I will be getting rid of these seats. I have no want for these seats. These seats specifically lift up and fold out to become benches. They have a little under storage, but they do become benches on both sides. Mixed emotions. I don't know. I might keep them. I might get rid of them. There's advantages and disadvantages to these seats. The disadvantages, they're always made cheap. They're always rot out. The advantages, though, if we did have a bunch of people in here, I could lay like that seat down over there to become a bench. There's a lot of seating. A lot to think about because of the use. Okay, I'm going to flip this camera around so it's easier for you and me. Okay, so we can see that just everything is just pretty rough. Okay, carpet's rough, seats are rough. The motor, though, I know for a fact that he put some money into this motor. He sent it off to a shop to be worked on. So this is a Mercury motor. I think it's going to be a great motor, honestly. It's 2.5 liter. I know it runs good. Like I said, I've had this boat on the water. So that's exciting. That right there is exciting. We just have to figure out, probably going to have to rebuild this brace around it. This whole storage section's just crumbling apart. So that's rough, but we'll get that rebuilt and it'll be fine. Alright, coming up here. Again, all of this needs rebuilt. All of these are going to be rotted out. Unfortunately, that one just looks like it was unbolted, but you can see where it tore through the back side of this. So I need to decide if I'm going to put all new boards back and build boards from scratch, which isn't an issue. Unfortunately, we had to do that a lot in the shop, to build these stupid platforms because they always rust out. But I need to decide if I want to do that. Probably, because it does hide all these imperfections. Because you can see where this is a little broken out and stuff. So, yeah. So the way I look at it, the boat's not terrible. The boat's not perfect. That's okay. You know, I want to do things like, you know, repaint the body, so it's a good time to also seal the body. We'll probably do it similar to our Bronco Sport, where it'll be the yellow with the lettering on it. I think it has a lot of potential, and that's what we're going to stay with it, potential. During COVID shutdown, unfortunately, you know, we were forced to shut down. Then we shut down our shop and closed our doors. We did a lot of refunds to customers who had already put money into it, but it left us in a interesting predicament where I have materials now. So I have materials to do the seats. I have to buy the wood, but I have the materials to recover those seats in there, so that's nice. We won't have any cost into that. I just need to figure out how much seats I want, if that makes sense. Well, I can take a lot of the seats out and put shelves in, or I can put storage in, and that's going to benefit us in the end because we can store the things that we need, store the things that we potentially need. So that's where we're at. In the next couple of videos that we do on this series, we're going to strip the boat down. We're going to figure out what the plan is and go from there. So stick around. We're going to have fun, guys. So if you're interested in building boats, if you're interested in doing a restoration, I don't know if I want to call it a restoration. There's 3 levels really. You have preservation, which is taking a boat the way it is, if it's in good condition, preserving it and making sure that it historically stays correct. There's restoration, which is returning it to the way it was built before. Again, it's for like historical preservation, or if you really enjoy that item, you're going to restore it. And then there's rebuilding it, which is probably where we're going to take this. We're going to rebuild it into something that it wasn't originally, but it fits our need and it fits a pretty cool use. So probably going to rebuild this. So yeah, if you want to see some cool boat rebuilding and you want some ideas for how to do it yourself, I'll do a lot of these as how-tos. I might not go as in depth as you need me to. So if I do that, if I make a video and it doesn't go in depth enough, let me know. I'll do a more in-depth video. I will try to make them all educational enough where you can do it yourself at home, because that's the point of this channel, guys. I want to take things that are usually you'd pay a shop to do, even if that's the high end of stuff, or you know, the advanced part of stuff, and I want to teach you how to do it, because you can do all this at home. You can build cool things at home. Of course, there is always a level where you want extreme expertise and you might want to take it to a specialist, but most of it you can do. Okay, so I want to teach you how to do that. Get out there, build cool things, and yeah, as we do this, like, follow, enjoy, have fun, but most importantly, get out there and have a good day.